Welcome back to Fair's Tutorials. In today's video, we're kicking off CSEC Food, Nutrition and Health 2026 Past Paper Series. Now, in this episode, we are starting with question 1. Let us look at an overview of the question as well as the mark distribution. Now, in part A, it is worth 2 marks. It says, define the term vulnerable group. Part B, for each of the vulnerable groups named below, state one nutritional problem associated with it, right? And a different problem must be stated for each group. And that part is worth 4 marks as well. Now, when we're looking at the ideal responses, I'll show you the vulnerable groups that are listed. Part C, Table 1 lists the symptoms of 2 diseases labeled A and B. CI, use the symptoms listed in Table 1 to identify each disease. 2 marks, right? I'll show you the table again when we're looking at the ideal responses. And then C2 states, suggest 2 ways controlling the symptoms of obesity, right? And that is valued at 2 marks. Part D, your 80-year-old neighbor is physically disabled and has been living alone for the past 2 years. Discussed 2 factors that can threaten his food security and result in nutritional problems for him. Let's jump right into things looking at part A. Define the term vulnerable group, which is worth at 2 marks. Now, an ideal answer could be a vulnerable group is one that has some specific characteristics which makes it more prone to falling into poverty or hardship, such as starvation, right? Now, an alternative definition could also be a vulnerable group is a group of people who, because of their circumstances or characteristics, are at greater risk of experiencing hardship, poor health, food insecurity, or other disadvantages. Now, this definition is worth 2 marks, so make sure that your definition is adequate enough. At least have 2 points in your definition so that you can get your full marks, right? So for instance, looking at our ideal answer, a vulnerable group is one that has some specific characteristics. Now, there and then you would have gotten 1 mark. Now, continuing to say, which make it more prone for them to fall into poverty or hardship, such as starvation, then you would have gotten another mark there as well. Similarly, for our alternative definition, a vulnerable group is a group of people who, because of their circumstances or characteristics, that's 1 mark, are at greater risk of experiencing hardship, poor health, food insecurity, or other disadvantages. That's how you would get your other mark there. So remember, when you are defining, ensure that you have an adequate response so that you can get your 2 marks, right? No exam tip, always read the question carefully, understand what is being asked, and answer clearly and concisely to earn your full marks. All right, now we're moving along to the other part of the question. For each of the vulnerable groups named below, state 1 nutritional problem associated with it. Now, a different problem must be stated for each group. Have to bear that in mind, right? So even though pregnant women may have issues with constipation and elderly may have issues with constipation as well, based on their digestive system slowing down and they may not be having as much fiber, you cannot list the same nutritional problem for the 2 same groups, right? This question required for you to list a different problem for each group, right? Now, this question is worth 4 marks, and of course, you would have 1 mark each for your correct answer. Now, the vulnerable groups that are listed are infants, pregnant women, the elderly, and also poverty-stricken. Now, our ideal response for infants could be underweight, right? Other acceptable answers could also be obesity, diarrhea, rickets, and marasmus, right? Moving on to the pregnant woman, ideal answer there could be anemia. Other acceptable responses as well include malnutrition, constipation, and hypertension. Now, as it relates to the elderly, the ideal response could include osteoporosis. Other acceptable answers: dehydration, constipation, and anemia, right? And our final group, or fourth group here, which is poverty-stricken, ideal answer there is malnutrition. Other acceptable answers could also include underweight, anemia, and diarrhea. All right, guys. Now, exam tip: read each group carefully, right? And give one different nutritional problem for each, and that's how you would have gotten your 4 marks. All right. Now, even though it says one nutritional problem, it's always nice to have some in the bag, because you may get an exam question that may not ask you for 1 but also ask you for 3, right? So it's always good to know more than one nutritional problem. All right, moving right along to part CI. It says table 1 lists the symptoms of 2 diseases labeled A and B. CI: use the symptoms listed in table 1 to identify each disease. And this question is valued at 2 marks, right? So looking at our table, we're looking at symptoms of 2 diseases. So disease A has frequent urination, unusual thirst, extreme hunger, unusual weight loss, and also extreme fatigue, right? Which means you're weak and you're tired. While disease B has severe headaches, vision problems, fatigue, irregular heartbeat, and chest pains, right? So it is important for us to know the symptoms of the lifestyle diseases, the non-communicable diseases, right? Now, disease A lists all the symptoms for. If your answer was diabetes, you are correct, right? Now, the symptoms such as the frequent urination, unusual thirst, the unusual weight loss, all of those guys are characteristics of someone who is diabetic, right? Now, part B, if your answer was hypertension, you are also correct. Now, most of these symptoms you may be thinking of cardiovascular diseases, right? So the vision problems, the fatigue, the irregular heartbeat, the chest pain. But when you see severe headache, you have to think outside the box, right? So it's no longer cardiovascular disease, because severe headaches can also lead to like strokes and stuff like that, right? So therefore, to narrow it down, hypertension would have been the most ideal answer because it covers all of these diseases, right? And these are also the characteristics for someone who is hypertensive. Exam tip: look carefully at all the symptoms in the table. Find the disease that matches most of the symptoms. Good. They may list the disease, ask you about the symptoms in other exam questions. So it's always important for you to know your content so that you can apply your knowledge. It doesn't matter what form the question may come in. All right, moving right along to part C2. Suggest 2 ways of controlling the symptoms of obesity. And this question is valued at 2 marks, right? Now let us look at our ideal responses. So obesity occurs where there's an imbalance with the food taken and or physical activity, right? Right, so 2 ideal answers could include eat a balanced diet that is lower in fat, added sugar, and excess calories, right? So you choose more whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and also healthy fats, right? Next point, exercise regularly to increase energy expenditure and help maintain a healthy body weight. Other acceptable responses could include increase fiber intake, drink adequate water daily, control portion sizes, that means you're eating the appropriate amount, reduce sugary drinks and sweetened beverage, and also maintain a healthy weight. Exam tip for this question: focus on healthy eating habits and regular physical activity. Now, any 2 different points will also earn full marks, right? So suggesting 2 ways right there would have given you your 2 marks. Moving right along to question D. It says, your 80-year-old neighbor is physically disabled and has been living alone for the past 2 years. You are concerned about his nutritional status. Discuss 2 factors that can threaten his food security and result in nutritional problems, right? So food security here is referring to that he doesn't have access to safe and reliable food, right? And his nutritional problem, meaning that those issues that he is having based on his nutrition. Good. Now let us look at 2 ideal responses. So we're looking at his physical disability, which means he has limited mobility, right? Now his disability may make it difficult for him to shop for groceries, transport food, prepare his meal, and even feed himself independently, right? Now this restricts his access to adequate, safe, and nutritious foods and may lead to malnutrition or nutrient deficiencies. Good. Now, the result: inadequate food intake and poor dietary quality increase the risk of malnutrition and related health problems. Good. So when you identify the factor, you get 1 mark there, and your discussion, you pick up another 2 marks. Good. So in all, you get 3 marks per factor. All right, let us look at the next response. So living alone equals what? Limited social support. Good. So living alone means he has no one readily available to purchase food, prepare his meals, or encourage him to eat regularly. Good. He may skip meals, eat less, or rely on convenience foods of poor nutritional quality. Now, what does this result in? So irregular eating patterns and poor quality foods increase the risk of malnutrition and other nutritional problems. All right. So 2 ideal responses there: physical disability, limited mobility, and also living alone and limited social support. So we're thinking about the social factors and also the psychological factors that may be influencing him, right? Now, other acceptable responses include, because it's always good to have more in the bag, limited income or financial constraint, right? So more than likely he is not working anymore. Advanced age equals reduced metabolic rate, decreased appetite as well. Also, he may have difficulty chewing because of what? Tooth loss, which leads to poor food choices and inadequate food intake, as well as limited transportation, so limited access to food. Exam tip for this question, guys: identify the factor. So you name the factor, which will give you your 1 mark. Then you explain how, right? So you explain how it threatens his food security, and then you link it to the nutritional problem. So you state the resulting nutritional problem for him, and that's how you would earn your 6 marks. All right. Now that is it for question 1. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe, watch those ads, share this video with your classmates, also with your teachers. Now stay tuned for our next episode where we'll look at question 2.